When people talk about love at first sight, they often describe an intense, instant connection between two people. The moment their eyes meet, there's an undeniable spark, a profound bond that seems to materialize from nowhere. This idea is a staple of countless movies, novels, and songs, portraying it as the pinnacle of romantic experiences. But beneath this idea of sudden, overwhelming attraction, what's actually happening on a psychological level? Is it truly love, or is it something more complicated, even transient, at play? To explore this phenomenon, we need to take a closer look at the psychological factors that contribute to it. The feelings we often associate with love at first sight are shaped by a mix of emotional excitement, physical attraction, personal values, and subconscious cognitive shortcuts. These elements come together in such a way that the first encounter with someone can feel more significant than it might actually be. Understanding these forces helps explain why some people seem to meet their soulmate the moment they cross paths. A major driver of the love at first sight experience is a surge of heightened emotional arousal. Emotional arousal refers to a sharp increase in emotional energy, a sense of excitement or alertness that can make everything around us feel more intense. When we meet someone we find attractive, this emotional energy shifts our internal state, amplifying the feelings of attraction. The result? The connection feels more immediate and vital. Several brain chemicals play a role in this emotional surge. Dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good chemical, is particularly important. When we interact with someone we're drawn to, our brain releases dopamine, creating a sense of pleasure and reinforcing our desire to pursue the relationship. This pleasurable feeling serves as a form of emotional reinforcement, making us want to continue engaging with the person. Alongside dopamine, adrenaline is also at work. Adrenaline is typically associated with the body's fight or flight response, which triggers physiological changes such as a faster heartbeat, quicker breathing, and increased alertness. When an encounter feels thrilling or unexpected, adrenaline amplifies the physical sensations, making everything seem more immediate. The fluttering heart or nervous excitement many people experience during a first meeting are the direct effects of this chemical response. The release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, further deepens the connection. Oxytocin is essential for creating feelings of trust and emotional closeness. Even during a first meeting, this hormone can produce a sense of intimacy that makes the connection feel familiar, as if you've known the person for much longer than just a few minutes. With all these intense emotional responses, it's easy for us to view the encounter through an idealized lens. The surge of positive feelings can lead to what psychologists call idealization, where we start seeing the other person as flawless. This heightened emotional state can make us imagine that we have met someone special, or that this meeting is somehow destined, even if, in reality, we don't know much about the person yet. One psychological concept that helps explain this is excitation transfer theory, which suggests that arousal from one source, like feeling nervous or excited, can be misattributed to the feelings we have for the person we're meeting. Essentially, the emotional excitement caused by the situation gets wrongly attributed to the attraction we feel for the person, making the initial spark seem stronger and more significant than it actually is. Another relevant cognitive bias is the halo effect, which occurs when we attribute positive qualities to someone based on a single positive trait. If we're already attracted to someone, we're likely to overlook any imperfections or flaws and view them through an overly positive lens. This bias makes it easier to believe that the connection is something magical or perfect, even when it's just the initial stages of attraction. Physical attraction plays a central role in the experience of love at first sight. Humans are naturally drawn to certain physical characteristics that signal health, genetic fitness, or even reproductive suitability. These unconscious signals prompt automatic psychological responses, enhancing our attraction to people who fit specific physical profiles. One of the key indicators of physical attraction is facial symmetry. Research shows that people with symmetrical faces are often rated as more attractive because symmetrical features are associated with better health and genetic fitness. This preference for symmetry isn't purely cultural. It's deeply ingrained in our evolutionary psychology. In addition to facial features, body language also contributes to our initial attraction. How someone stands, gestures, and makes eye contact can all convey confidence, openness, and interest. These nonverbal cues play an essential role in how we evaluate someone when we first meet them. When someone mirrors our movements or holds steady eye contact, it can amplify feelings of connection and increase our attraction to them. There's also the factor of physical chemistry, which refers to the invisible subconscious attraction that arises from pheromones, chemicals we emit that influence how others perceive us. Studies suggest that people are instinctively drawn to individuals whose immune systems complement their own. This invisible attraction may explain why some encounters feel particularly magnetic, even if we can't explain exactly why. Attraction, however, isn't just about physical traits or the excitement of a chemical rush. The psychological concept of similarity also plays a significant role. According to the similarity-attraction hypothesis, we tend to be drawn to people who share our values, interests, and beliefs. This is because we feel more comfortable and connected with people who reflect our own ideals and worldviews. When we meet someone whose goals, hobbies, and values align with ours, the attraction feels more effortless, even profound. We all have an internal framework or a set of expectations about the kind of person we would like to be with. When we meet someone who matches or even exceeds those expectations, it strengthens the feeling of connection. Our brains immediately recognize that person as potentially being a significant part of our life, as if they fit into the picture we've been subconsciously creating for ourselves. Cognitive dissonance, a psychological phenomenon where we feel discomfort when our beliefs are challenged, also plays a part in this process. If we meet someone who doesn't align with our expectations, we might experience uncertainty or discomfort. However, when someone meets or surpasses those expectations, that discomfort vanishes, and we feel more confident in the connection. The alignment of shared values provides a sense of ease that deepens our emotional attachment. Studies have shown that shared values are essential for the long-term success of relationships. Couples who share similar beliefs and life goals tend to have more stable, lasting relationships. Therefore, the feeling of meeting someone perfect at first sight might actually be due to this alignment of core values and life objectives. The role of cognitive biases in interpreting our emotions during love at first sight cannot be overstated. Confirmation bias is one such example. This is the tendency to focus on information that supports our existing beliefs or desires. When we're attracted to someone, we may unconsciously focus on their positive traits, reinforcing our initial feelings of affection and attraction. Even if we don't know the person well, our brain seeks out any sign that confirms that this relationship is meant to be. Another relevant bias is projection bias, where we project our own hopes, desires, and emotional needs onto the person we've just met. We may start imagining that they feel the same way we do, or that they share our long-term desires, which amplifies the connection. This can lead us to believe that the relationship is destined or deeply significant, even though we might not yet know the person well enough to make such a judgment. As we experience these positive feelings, the brain releases more dopamine, reinforcing the attraction and driving us to continue interacting with the person. This creates a cycle where the more we feel drawn to them, the more our brain rewards us with positive reinforcement, which makes us seek out more experiences with them. This process can intensify our emotions, leading us to interpret every interaction as a sign of love, even though it might simply be a reflection of the emotional high we're feeling. Our experience of love at first sight is also shaped by cultural narratives, the stories and images that society and media provide us with. Different cultures view love in varying ways, and not every society embraces the idea of love happening at first sight. In some cultures, love is seen as something that grows gradually, and the idea of an instant connection may seem unrealistic. However, in many Western cultures, love at first sight is portrayed as the ultimate romantic experience, reinforced by countless stories in films, books, and TV shows. From a young age, we're taught that true love is something that happens suddenly and effortlessly. This cultural conditioning influences how we interpret our emotional experiences. We are primed to see early emotional reactions as signs of deep connection, even if, biologically speaking, they may just be responses to heightened emotional or physical arousal. Additionally, attachment theory provides insight into how different individuals approach love. According to this theory, people develop different attachment styles based on their early experiences with caregivers. Individuals with a secure attachment style are typically more comfortable with emotional closeness and are more likely to form strong initial connections. In contrast, those with anxious or avoidant attachment styles may be more cautious or hesitant, which can affect how they interpret and respond to strong feelings of attraction. Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love further explains how love at first sight fits into the broader context of romantic relationships. Sternberg posited that love consists of three components: passion, intimacy, and commitment. The passion experienced during love at first sight is typically a powerful mix of emotional and physical attraction, but it's only one element. Over time, intimacy and commitment may develop, which transforms initial passion into a more enduring, stable connection. To conclude, love at first sight is a multifaceted experience that stems from an intricate mix of emotional excitement, physical attraction, shared values, and cognitive biases. While it can feel like a magical encounter, it's ultimately the result of both biological processes and cultural conditioning. While the initial spark can be exhilarating, it's important to recognize that lasting love requires more than just a rush of emotions. True, enduring love grows over time through communication, understanding, and mutual commitment. So, while love at first sight may ignite the beginning of a relationship, it's the deeper emotional connection that sustains it in the long run.